right, let's get right over to Mike Eppel now. A look at the Monday markets, and so far, things looking pretty good, Mike.
Yeah, much better, Melanie. Good morning. Markets last week had a miserable time of things, with investors showing all sorts of concern about a possible trade war between the U.S. and China. The Dow, for example, last week dropped by more than 5%. And this morning, we're looking at a little bit more cautious optimism, we'll call it at this point, as the Dow futures points to a bounce back of 300 points at the opening of trade. Friday, it was down over 400, back up maybe by 300 in the early going today. The TSX was not immune to this, last week losing more than 3% overall and is still down on the year. One of the few stocks not trading to the upside this morning is Facebook. The fallout from the breach of trust continuing despite the full-page ads taken out by Facebook and the apology by CEO Mark Zuckerberg on over the weekend in various publications in the United States. Some new polling indicates that Americans are less confident about the company maintaining control of data privacy. And in Germany, a poll by one of the largest newspapers there indicates 60% think that Facebook is not good for democracy. So if this hits the earnings on advertising or anything of that nature, Facebook could see further to fall. The share price down 13% last week, losing $65 billion in market value. This is a big week on the budget front. Tomorrow we will hear the budgetary numbers out of the province of Quebec, and then Wednesday here in Ontario. It's been interesting to see the market respond to some of the signals given on budgetary measures by both provinces. Investors are liking what Quebec's doing, for example, paying down some debt with budgetary surpluses. Bonds in Quebec are seeing big sales. And here in Ontario, we're expecting another budget deficit, and traders are saying that is not great, with the budget debt already well over $300 billion and set to rise further. And if you really like flying, well, Qantas Airlines has a new long-haul flight potentially for you, 17 hours direct. London Heathrow to Perth, Australia, the first flight for Qantas of that destination, and 17 hours in a Boeing Dreamliner 787. This is not the longest commercial flight ever. That was previously held by Singapore Airlines, which went New York to Singapore for 21 hours direct. That flight, though, canceled a couple of years back because it was not economical, because they couldn't put as many people in the plane, because they needed the space to fill up those gas tanks and weight distribution and such. So, yeah, if you like flying, 17 hours direct might be your ticket. Back to the studio.